vacate. I can't wait to ring my mum and let her know that she'll soon have her property back.
But as Dale calls his mum with the good news...
You're getting your house back on the 2nd of November.
Praise God.
He spots the tenant, leaving the court with a friend.
Just need to know, are you gonna vacate on the 2nd of November? Are you gonna go on the 2nd of November?
Wait, walk away, walk!
Are you?
No, you don't do nothing.
No.
Can you stop filming her, please?
Exactly.
Can you stop filming her, please?
You don't need to film me. Why are you
Please stop
filming
that,
me?
please. Do you want me physically to me to hold the camera before you to realise that? Stop filming her, please. Please. I've asked you nicely, please. Thank you very much, sir. Eh? Don't be rude.
I'm not
please.
being rude.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day, sir.
So he's accused us of being rude, and how rude is it not to pay the rent? But that's the kind of people we're dealing with, unfortunately.
Hopefully she'll be gone when we turn up. If she's not, we'll just engage the bailiffs to have her forcibly removed.
Next,
If you've got so much to say it in my mum's bank account.
in Lewisham,
£10,000.
in Blackburn,
The guy upstairs won't come back till you're gone.
Yeah, well, that's not my problem.
Chill.
Why?
and in Wandsworth.
You have ruined my life with this.
Hello? Enforcement officer?
2 weeks have passed since Dale won the case against his mum's tenant, who owes £10,000 in rent. And today, she's due to leave.
Hopefully today she might do the decent thing and just move, you know, stop costing my mum even more money.
It's difficult for my mum having to visit the bank, rain, shine, snow, to find out if someone's paid money in, to find out no, they haven't. It just adds to the trauma of it.
He's heading to the property to see if she's complied.
I don't see any removal trucks. Hi, yeah. Today's the 2nd. Are you moving today?
I got moved today till they give me the eviction notice.
So you want us to bring the bailiffs? You do realise it's going to be fairly disruptive. Is there a reason why the rent hasn't been paid? You showed no real concern to me, to my mum, but you've not paid the rent.
An unfamiliar voice shouts at Dale from inside the property.
Come on! We're all human beings at the end of the day. What are you doing? What's the problem?
The problem is you're living in a house for free. Not even renting the house to you. Don't know why you're there.
Stop them disgusting!
So is it not disgusting that you're not paying the rent and you're living free? And there is now 3 adults in the house, you couldn't muster enough money to pay the rent. If you've got so much to say, say it in my mum's bank account. £10,000. Yeah, I thought you didn't have anything to say about that.
There is a natural respect for elders, and she had done what she'd done to an elderly woman, my mum. And that's almost the unforgivable sin.
Dale and his mother have little choice but to call in the bailiffs, costing yet more time and more money.
She's going to be forcibly removed from the property, and see what she has to say.
Britain's buy-to-let boom has created huge opportunities for the unscrupulous to make big money out of vulnerable tenants and small landlords.
I was desperate to rent my flat out. It had been empty for quite a while, and an agency contacted me.
16 months ago, Blair Bartholomew thought she'd found the perfect solution for her empty rental property.
She basically said she had a tenant that had just missed out on a house and needed to move in ASAP, a family.
Blair personally met and approved the tenant, but she hasn't received a penny in rent for 6 months, and she believes the agency is fake.
All the phone numbers that I had went down. And then I went to the website, and the website had gone down as if that domain didn't exist. And that's when I knew that in my heart, and I think I knew all along, that I'd been scammed, and I just felt sick. I came around to my property immediately and knocked on the door and met someone I'd never met before renting my property. And it was just the worst feeling.
The stranger, who called himself Derek, refused to either pay his rent or leave the property.
He'd start screaming at me. You know, I ended up bursting out crying on the phone to him while he was swearing at me down the phone.
So she's turned to eviction lawyer Chris Sharp for help.
Blair is really nervous, she's really on edge about all this. This is her own property. You know, she can't believe that there's somebody in there who's got an order against him, has ignored the order thus far. Blair wants him out. She wants him out desperately so she can just get on with her life.
Now, armed with an eviction order, Chris and Blair are on their way to meet High Court enforcement officers at the property.
How you doing, Mark? You're in safe hands, okay?
Just stay out of the property, yeah? Just in case so you can get out.
Yeah.
Easy enough. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Shall we go?
Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Let's go then, Blair.
I did feel like I needed a human shield. I did think Derek would get aggressive when we finally evicted him.
You hand back.
This whole property for me, I actually just get a sense of dread and regret coming here.
Oh, look at that.
Hello? Enforcement officer? Hello? Right, you Derek. My name's Mark. Here's a copy of the reg.
1 second, wait there. So far we've found 4 people in here. Despite having an order from the court, sheriff's office, there's still people here. This is the guy that was at court. How much time and consideration have you given to Blair and what you've put her through, how she feels?
I mean, I'm amazed he's still here.
They won't be there for much longer.
Honestly, this has literally been horrendous. When did you move in? I'm so sorry.
That's absolutely normal. Nothing done and nothing.
I understand. I've had enough. I'm so sorry. No, that's fine.
I'll be honest with you guys.
I've never seen you before. There was no one living here when we did this whole thing.
That's why I'm completely confused right now.
I'm so sorry. The 3 boys came out of the flat pretty quickly compared to Derek. I can't believe how long this has taken. I mean, we got here, what, like 5 minutes after 7? Just after 7? And now it's 20 past 8.
He's known about this. He's cleaning his gear out now at Blair's expense. Because the longer this takes, these guys are out for free. He's just protracting it, dragging his feet. It's almost like one last middle finger up to Blair.
By the time the eviction came around, the actual day, I was about 15 grand down. And that's not just from loss of rent, that's also from what I had to pay to get him evicted.
I don't mind helping. If it speeds it up, doesn't it?
I don't know what kind of person does this kind of thing. I don't know how people can do it.
Whoa. Fill up. Listen. No, sorry, sir. I'm not
listen, don't do that.
I'm not trying to be aggressive. I'm not trying to be aggressive myself. I told you guys.
You say excuse me, don't budge it.
These are your new keys, and your property is now back.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I can't believe I've got this place back. I'm just so upset by the whole thing. I actually am worried someone's going to come out of the closet. I just feel so uncomfortable in this house.
This has been one of the worst experiences of my life. Coming to this flat, I just hate it. And it shouldn't feel like that, or something you own and that you're proud to own.
I'm mad with him. He's been living in this property for 6 months.
I would like Derek to feel my pain, but I don't think he ever will.
There we go. Well, Blair.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not that I don't want to apologize to you, right? It's the thing where when I spoke to you around June or August, July, I told you about the tenancy agreement that I had, and you both knew you and I were scammed. It's not that I was being aggressive towards you. I was trying to show you that I've been a victim, just as you have been a victim.
Derek,
right?
I'm done with you.
I'm
done with you.
I rented it from Maisie
my
Recruitment.
life with this. I offered to help you find a place.
Yeah, because at that time,
to pay your deposit.
I know, I was still
and
looking for a place.
You were the most aggressive and awful person to be.
I wasn't
I
aggressive.
did everything.
I was trying to
Do you know how much money this has cost me to evict you?
I was trying to tell you.
What you have done is despicable. I'm done. Sorry.
Come on, that's well said.
I'm
to
shaking.
him, it's just
I'm
take.
I'm that upset about this situation.
You said what you needed to say. You said what was on your chest, and do you know what? It shows. I mean, this is just how. This is what it means to people. It's not innocent. This is not victimless.
Blair is left counting the cost of getting her house back.
15 grand is huge. I'm in debt. I'm selling my car because I have to put money back in the pot.
In Blackburn, it's been 3 weeks since letting agent Paul Ainsworth-Lord served a notice to quit on problem tenants Ashley and Shalem. He's trying to find out what's going on.
Oh, you're right, lad. Do you know what day you're going to your mum's? The guy upstairs won't come back till you're gone.
Yeah, well, that's not our problem.
Shalem, shut up.
Why?
All signals are pointing to you. You've had the police here, you've got anger issues. We've been around the block on this.
Shalem, just stop. I'm not bothered.
Oh, you're right, Ashley. She's a young lass. So I did feel a bit sorry for her, and I felt she was trapped somehow.
We understand we got the notice, and since we've got it, we've kept everything down. We're only young and we've not got jobs right now. It's trying to find somewhere else to live, which is really difficult. It's deposit and first month's rent and all that we have to then try and find. It'd be a lot easier to stay here.
Because I know it's not easy, and it can be expensive.
Like if we didn't have a chance, I'd make sure we wouldn't mess it up this time. We really would make sure we wouldn't mess it up.
There's one part of my brain saying I don't think so, and then there's the other part of my brain saying, well, maybe I should give him another chance. So, Shalem, if you need me to reconsider, you know, the plan of action that we're working to now, you need to give me a good reason why I should do that. You know,
Yeah, well,
why should I?
We're willing to behave, stay quiet, and, you know,
Make a choice.
follow the line, get along with everyone. And
If you know, you're adamant you want to stay, this is going to have to be by consensus of everybody. So I think we should have a house meeting. You organise it all. I'll tip up as well, say next Wednesday. We can all have a truce. or whatever you want to call it. And if everyone's okay with that, and I can see that everyone's okay with that, then the problem pretty much solved.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to put the plan together, and hopefully we'll have a good outcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about the best I can do. Then, okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
glad I can see a way forward.
Excellent. No worries. Thank you.
I'm a human like anybody else. Ultimately, I want it to be fixed. The last thing I want is to be kicking people out.
Everything now hangs on Ashley and Shalem getting all the tenants together for a house meeting.
This is a second chance type of thing. So they've got sight of a solution now. The ball's in their court. All I just need them to do is get on. Everyone pay the rent, look after the place, job's good.
Is that her? Is that her?
Next.
But what about the rent?
In Lewisham.
We're going after your sister's business and her house.
No, this is not all right.
In Blackburn.
I can't have a house that's upset because of you. You've got to leave.
No.
Hello?
And in Harrow.
You've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in this little place.
In South London, Dale Prime Holder is hoping to get his house back for his elderly mother. Now, over £13,000 out of pocket, Dale's meeting eviction expert Paul Champlina at the property.
We've got the possession order. So today is going to be D-Day for us to get the property back. I don't know what state the property is going to be in, but what I do know is we're going to be getting the property back.
There was apprehension. You know, what's going to meet me when I arrive there?
Is it up there?
Bearing in mind all that anger towards me, on our last encounter, we could now potentially meet face to face.
Looks empty, doesn't it? Yeah. We just spoke to the neighbour and she's confirmed that she moved in the last couple of days. She saw vans coming and going. So that's a good sign. So she's clearly left.
Just annoyed that they've taken it to the wire at the cost to my mum, you know, time and effort for everybody concerned.
By law, Paul and Dale can't enter until the bailiffs arrive and do the paperwork.
Is that her? Is that her?
Just then, the tenant turns up.
Do you have the keys?
Lost one of them.
Sorry?
I lost one of them.
You've moved out now, yeah? Okay. What about what about the rent? Owen, are you gonna make an instalment plan? Yeah. Okay, because a lot of money, 13 grand.
But heads up, just to understand, you know your sister's a guarantor, so that means her property's at risk and her business is at risk if that arrangement isn't made soon.
Yes, I'll make it.
You can understand how stressed my mother would be and put yourself in a situation you didn't need to be in if you'd just pick up the phone and spoke to us. Well, even if you'd said, I'm going to leave, but we're going to pay this amount, but to pay nothing. It didn't have to be like this. And now we're in a situation where landlord action are going to be quite rigorous in going after your sister's business and her house. You know?
The tenant's turned up because she wants the document from the bailiff to say that she's been made homeless. So she can take it to the council and try and be rehoused. So yeah, so the tenant's just getting the document signed with the bailiff just in there. No, it's not bad condition, is it, Del? No. Normally tenants, they just leave a whole load of rubbish, the stuff that they can't take. No, it's not too bad, is it?
a lot worse.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got my mum's number?
Yes.
I think an apology to my mum would go away and just making her understand.
I was looking forward, if the truth be known, to the confrontation and probably was happy to heckle them on their way.
I know it's never nice going through an eviction, what you're having to do now, whether there's arrears or no arrears, because obviously you've got a family, and you know, if the council said that it'd be temporary accommodation and all that,
They said they were putting me up for 56 days.
56 days in temporary accommodation, yeah, which could be like a bed sit and stuff.
It can't be easy for you with your little ones having to deal with that.
To see her standing there, almost sort of stripped of everything, it brought a different feeling to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll let you get anyway.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
My attitude changed because I'm now looking at somebody who's homeless, in effect.
I'll see you later. Good luck. Bye. I feel awful for her, really. I'm not vindictive in that sense. No, there isn't.
You know what you need to do?
Yeah.
You need to call your mum.
I do
Call your mum,
need to.
give her the good news.
I do need to call my mum.
Hi there.
Hi, Mum. Claudia's gone.
Praise the Lord. It has been a long time coming.
Yeah, very much
It
so.
caused me lots of stress and what have you.
Yeah.
Name it, yeah.
She said she will call you and apologise.
She did call me and apologize.
Well, that's
she
a good
was
sign.
in tears.
Right.
You know, she was in tears, and I appreciate that.
All right, Mum.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much, and your team.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Mum.
Okay, God
All right,
bless.
you too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Sorry, don't cut my mum off. My mum will go down the road and bless her. She
Well,
will.
listen, when you see her, you'll give her some keys, so
Yeah,
give you a big hug. Don't worry about that.
Now that my mum has the flat back, it's altered the relationship of the past 2 years. You know, I can have normal mum phone calls now. She's back to asking me when I'm going to start going back to church.
There's been a long list of complaints against problem tenants Ashley and Shalem. Letting agent Paul Ainsworth Lord has decided to give them a second chance if they can make it up with the other tenants in the HMO they share.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
But wife and business partner Debbie isn't so sure.
I said, everybody has to be there. We need a house meeting. I said, if everybody agrees, then I'll let you stay.
Paul, but in 7 days' time, we're going to have the same again. Nothing's going to change.
Oh, no.
Why do you keep doing this? We're not running a nursery school.
I've told her we can't
But you're just
carry on.
delaying it. You're just giving them another week.
Well, you know, it's a shame for her.
Honestly, you're too soft.
That's what I've said to him anyway.
Okay, well, it's your decision.
So, we'll see.
Six days later, Paul's on his way to the tenants' meeting to decide the couple's fate.
Well, I'm hoping got the rest of the housemates together so that we can have a bit of a house meeting and see if we can all kiss and make up, basically.
But one of the tenants has moved out temporarily because of the couple's behaviour.
And the missing tenant was happy to come back providing they're gone. Do you want to have a chat in the kitchen then?
Yeah.
He couldn't face going back there, no matter what the promises were. So you texted him, rang him?
I told him specifically when the meeting was and what time it was, and like why the meeting was happening, but he just hasn't replied.
Because Ashley and Shailen had failed to arrange the house meeting, the writing was on the wall and they were having to leave. So where I'm at is, we're no further forward. I've got a tenant who's paying rent but won't move in because of you guys, won't move back in because of you guys. I've got a tenant who claims to have left because of you guys. We've got complaints from other tenants and neighbours.
I don't know what you want me to do about
You've got to move out.
I won't do that now, man.
We've had this conversation.
No.
You're going to have to move out.
No,
and there's two ways of doing it. You do it the easy way or the hard way. It's your
How is that
problem.
my fault?
Because you're the centre of the problem. There's too much stacked against you here.
I don't... good luck, man, mate. You'll have to get a fucking court proceeding and shit.
I want to try and get him to come back. He can't run from it. We need to deal with it, Ashley. Well, this isn't going to plan, is it? This is not going to plan at all.
No, come on.
This is where we're at, isn't it?
No, this is not all right.
I tried to help you here. I gave you an option last week, and it's not coming together. You've got to leave.
Tell him that then.
But I'm telling you.
No, tell him that then.
I'm telling you.
No. Do what you want, man.
You seem to have had a good relationship. For some reason,
Yeah, and
he's
that's my
ain't
point.
speaking.
I don't
but
know why. I'm being serious. I don't know why.
well, he says it's because he's frightened of you.
No, he's not frightened.
That's
of
what
me.
he's
I've
telling
never
us.
laid a finger on his
That's what he's telling us. Not
No,
just once.
I've
He's
fed
telling
the
us
guy
loads
for
of
nearly
times.
fucking 4 or 5 months. You think I'm gonna be? Is he gonna be afraid of me?
Well, he says he won't move back in here because of you.
No, it's
Not
not
you. He
because
says
of me.
because of you. I can't have a house that's upset and our tenants left because of you guys.
I don't want to comply anymore. I'd like to leave.
You need to start packing.
No, I'm not gonna.
Try and talk to
And if you don't do it the easy way, the gentle way, like I'm allowing you to do, her dad will get the costs.
So go for it. Go on then.
You know her dad's not going to like
I
that.
don't care.
Stop. Sit down.
You tried. You won't even pick up the phone. What's the fucking point?
I don't want to move out because I've nowhere really to go, and neither is Shayla. And we don't have the money to go anywhere else. I'd rather be homeless than go to my parents in the nicest way possible.
Paul now has no choice but to have Ashley and Shalem evicted. The young couple face an uncertain future.
I'm done with them. I've given them chances. I've given them chances. I've given them too many chances by normal standards. You know, you make your bed and you lie in it, don't you?
Soaring demand in Britain's rental market has led to more and more properties that are unsafe and overcrowded.
This property, we believe, is overcrowded. It's not on our records, and I think there's going to be a whole heap of problems in there.
Andrew Sedman, from Harrow's Housing Enforcement Office, has received a tip-off about a suspect two-bedroom flat in the borough.
It's a big worry. It's a massive worry, actually. You never know what to think when you go into a property. We've just got a sketchy bit of information. I don't know what I'm going to be faced with. This is your property here. It's open, no lock. I have powers of entry to come in here. Hello? Harrow Council, could you come to the door, please? Hello, Harrow Council? Two sets of bunk beds. I mean, you've got 4 people squashed into this tiny room. This is not good at all. Hello? No one in here. So we've got another bunk bed here. When you've got 2 sets of fridge freezers in a small property, it's a good sign that it's overcrowded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in this little place.
To add to his worries, Andrew's concerned about the state of the property.
Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous.
I need to meet someone. I need to get some history, what's going on, where I can get hold of the landlord. Let's get this sorted out.
After weeks of searching, Andrew makes a breakthrough.
I finally got an address for the landlord. I got his name, and I thought, great, got you now.
The landlord, Mr. Chima, claims that when he let the flat, he had no idea that the house would be run as an HMO. Andrew and his colleague Sheetal Rajani have told him to meet them at the property.
They now told me that the property has been vacated and they have no intention of it being an HMO.
When a landlord gets rid of tenants very quickly, it's a bit suspicious.
Today, we'll be able to see whether he's speaking the truth. Hello, sir. Hi. Andrew Sedman, residential licence in Harrow Council. Oh, right, it's empty now. It's a bit different now, it's empty. There's obviously a lot of things to sort out. Windows need attention. In the kitchen, you've got cracked tiles. This roof, that would need fireproofing.
The builder is coming on Monday, he's going to refurbish everything. Yeah, the property is on the market to let out as soon as we find someone there. This property is not feasible for HMO at all.
He's saying all the right things, all the things that he wants me to hear. But if it's unlicensed, if people are in danger, you've got to pay the price.
So what I've done, I've actually got the notice of intention, which just tells you about what we're going to do, and that is at £5,000. That's for civil penalty notice.
Did you consider my situation, because this all happened without my consent, without my permission?
Yeah, I do, but it's your job to manage it, so have someone manage it for you if you can't manage it yourself.
Instead of me paying this £5,000 to you, if I can invest the same money or probably a bit more than this into this property, doing it up to really good standards, would you be able to consider me putting this money rather than giving to you, investing into this property?
As an enforcer, you do have to be hard-nosed about things, but I thought, you know what, everyone deserves a chance.
OK, sir.
To have any chance of avoiding the £5,000 penalty, Mr. Chima's repairs will have to pass a strict council inspection. Next.
Oh, it stinks.
In Blackburn.
A bong here.
And in Harrow.
And I haven't entered the property yet, but my foot is actually stuck under the stair.
Four days ago, letting agent Paul Ainsworth-Lord warned problem tenants Ashley and Shaylin they had to leave the HMO because of complaints from other tenants.
Ashley's dad has rung me and said that he's moving his daughter back home, so I'm just going to go and check, see what the state of play is.
The last time Paul was at the house, Ashley's boyfriend Shaylin was refusing to move out.
His odd behaviour really gives me bad vibes. This guy's just not what we want, and we need to get rid of him. Oh, stinks. Oh, man. Looks like they've gone, doesn't it? You can smell a weed smell. Every time I came in to see him, there was a weed smell. Got a bong here. Make sure to get all the bits out of here and we'll get it turned around pretty fast. If we were renting to robots, it would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Because we wouldn't have the human element, and it's the human element that complicates it all. It's dealing with personalities. You know, she was quite cooperative. He was the little awkward one, and he influenced her. We can draw a line in the sand now with this, and everyone can move on.
It's 2 months since the Harrow residential licensing team issued a £5,000 penalty notice against landlord Mr. Shima over conditions at his 2-bedroom rental flat. He says he's made the improvements they demanded, so Andrew Sedman and colleague Micaiah Angus are on their way to inspect the property.
I'm looking for compliance, so this place Don't need it to look like a palace, but if we can get close to that, I'll be happy.
Hello, Mr. Sedman.
Hello, Mr. Chief. There's a little bit of concern. I haven't entered the property yet, but we've got a floorboard gun, and look, my foot is actually stuck under the stair.
It will get sorted.
Brilliant.
That's no problem. It's a very minor thing.
Which is good. All floors being done as well, so much better. Now we've got an empty, livable property now.
Which can be a nice home.
It's good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Anything else, Andrew?
No. It's pretty good up here. A few things to sort out, but we're on the right track.
Apart from the broken stair, it looks like Mr. Chima has been good to his word. The Harrow enforcement officers decide to rescind the £5,000 penalty.
We don't ever withdraw these civil penalty notices. This is a first.
Thank you, Mr. Chima. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down and thanks for helping me all the way throughout.
Mr. Chima is a good businessman. This is just a mistake he's made, and I don't think he'll make that mistake ever again.
Next time,
When are you going to get out?
a grandmother-to-be desperate to get her house back.
She's here. She's here.
A landlord forced to confront his non-paying tenants.
Can't afford for you to be living here for free.
Needles everywhere.
And a Blackpool letting agent makes a shocking discovery.
Oh my God. What are you doing in here? It's just covered in shit. Absolute shit.
Britain's rental market is at breaking point.
Give me home, please.
With not enough homes to go round, soaring rents,
Oh my God.
squalid, overcrowded conditions,
Little swines.
spiralling property fraud,
They're crooks. They're running a scam.
When am I going to get my money?
bedsits to mansions,
You can't touch me.
squats to drug farms.
It's a frigging full room. The deal is, you have the house, you pay the rent. What bit don't you get?
Hello? Hi, mate. Hi.
This is Nightmare Tenants, Slum Landlords. Blackpool is one of the most deprived areas in the county. Former coal miner and hotelier John Bartram runs a letting agency here with 400 properties on his books. Most are let by the room, and the majority of his tenants are on benefits.
I don't know what to expect. It could be fine. Property could be absolutely fine. But on the other hand, it could be half ripped apart. The mess.
John has taken a new property onto his books. He's yet to see it, so today, along with his handyman Billy, he's carrying out an inspection.
Hi, Billy. Billy? Billy? What's up?
You got the keys to the front door?
We don't think there is any.
They're locked from the outside, them doors. They're them ones what self-lock, so you can't get in them. Perhaps to snap it or something on the car.
Yeah.
With the decline of the tourist trade, many former Blackpool guest houses have been turned into bedsits for those on low incomes. This former hotel has been empty for the last 2 years.
Something behind it. Frank behind the door. Isn't there?
suspiciously. The front door seems to have been blocked from the inside.
What we see as an agent is the darker side of life. You see a lot of poverty. So do we try and get around the back, Billy, or what do we do? That looks good. Can we get around the back? I wish we'd got a portfolio where there was all family houses. I don't know whether it's secure or not. But you see prostitution, you see your drugs, you see properties that's been broken into, being squatted. This actually looks pretty secure. A lot of these people are down on the backside. Where the window was boarded, the board has been taken off. It's a sure sign that the squatter's in there. Absolute nightmare, honestly, absolute nightmare. Well, no more once Billy's got his access.
Let's slide that wood away.
Go in, let's have a look through here. There's a screw holding the inner door and somebody secured it before we got here. Let's have a look downstairs first.
It's soon clear that the building has been recently squatted.
Needles everywhere, you know, everything all over the place. There is an issue with drugs in places like Blackpool. Heroin, foil heroin burns.
Methadone bottle.
Methadone bottle here. And when you actually go into a property that's been squatted, you are always vigilant. Another sharp on the windowsill here. That could be something like sharps lying about that could do harm to me or my colleagues.
2 decades ago, this was a hotel catering to tourists visiting Blackpool's famous Golden Mile. Now, John has to check each of its 20 bedrooms for less welcome guests.
Oh, Christ. Christ. That is awful. Oh, it's just covered in shit. Absolute shit. And it looks as if like they're using some old curtains or something to wipe the bloody arse on. Not often I smell things like that, but, you know, it's all part of the job. And when you've been brought up working in the coalfields, which was a hard life anyway, you deal with issues accordingly.
Where is it? Leaking somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, as we look here, it's prime location. Maximum 200 metres off the promenade, right near Central Pier. Prime location for anybody to have a nice home, and you're coming to shit like what we're seeing in front of us. If the landlord could see what I could see, he would be shocked. Could be completely wrong. It looks the property's empty. Pigeons have been getting in. There's more pigeon mess, and it just the mind boggles.
There's just one final room left to check.
Hello. Oh, hello. I've been all right there.
Hey?
Well, what are you doing in here?
We've been on the streets.
Hey?
We've been on the streets and we were staying here at the front.
There's no friend stopping here. Can you tell me how you've got access? Putting people on the street is difficult. You do feel a little bit for them, but they cannot see that you're a soft touch.
Well, excuse me, 5 minutes.
Can I have some names, please? And
No, Oh, can you stop filming?
But is it fair that you break into somebody's property?
Not filming, breaking.
Well, somebody's broken by.
Someone has, but it wasn't
Yeah.
us.
Okay. In such circumstances, I've had threats. Being at properties where tenants have actually said, if I see you uptown, I'll do you in.
It's out on the streets, freezing up there.
Yeah, I'm not criticising you. I'm not criticising you at all. I know people deserve a place to stop.
So what's going to happen then?
In what respect?
Well, what, are we getting arrested?
Why should you? You're leaving peacefully. You know, we've got a mutual agreement that you go in and you won't come back. If it happens again, yeah, we'll have to take it down the legal route.
Can you give us 2 minutes and we'll get everything out?
I can give you 2 minutes and let you get everything out as well, yeah. I'd gladly went quietly, yes. You can't have any qualms. They're doing wrong. It's a criminal offence to squat. Okay. Yeah, cheers, Phil. So you can go out the front door because that's actually open at the moment.
The building is now empty. But with homelessness and drug abuse rife in the Blackpool area, John will have a tough task keeping it that way.
Well, it's not fine, is it?
Next,
Why have you done this to me?
in Surrey,
You put me under enormous stress.
in Derby,
If you're on a property in 10 minutes' time without a court eviction, the police will be there.
and in Blackpool.
It's broken up again.
Almost a third of Britain's buy-to-let landlords are over 60. But what may start out as a profitable pension top-up can develop into a full-time problem.
It's given me a few sleepless nights. It makes you down. You know, you try not to think about it and you can't get it out of your mind some days.
Landlord Chris Ball has been renting out his semi-detached house to a professional couple for the last 8 months. But 4 months ago, they stopped paying their rent.
The income that I get is rarely my pension, so I cannot allow thousands of pounds in rent just to go to one side. I need this money.
Just under £2,000 down, Chris served the couple with a notice to quit. And they should have left by today.
No car there. She's here. She's here. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I take it you're going to be leaving today. It's the 19th.
What do you mean?
You've been served a Section 8. You know about it. You know you do.
I haven't
It's
heard
like
of
the
it.
Section 21. You've not paid any rent for 4 months. So what's happening? When are you going to be leaving? I need my property back. This is my pension.
I haven't received any letter. I wasn't aware I was supposed to be moving out.
Well, if you don't leave today, it's got to go to court. It's got to.
Right, okay.
Initially, I thought they were great. You know, I thought they'd be a good couple. Both in good jobs. They got enough money, more than enough money to pay for this, you know, this little humble abode. I can't afford for you to be living here for free. You've been here for free for 4 months. I'd sent them letter after letter. I sent them emails, text messages, and they just ignored it.
I thought you'd been in touch with you.
No, nobody's been in touch. You know nobody's been in touch.
Well, I didn't. We've had a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't aware of that at all.
You're making my life difficult. You know, you've just not paid any rent for 4 months. You've ignored me, and also you've changed the locks on the door. You have.
Can I speak to you?
You've changed the locks on the door, though, haven't
Can
you?
I speak to
Yeah. Well, you have changed the locks on the door.
Can I speak to you, please?
Yeah, you can speak to him. Both myself and my wife were just at a loss what to do. She's clearing up. The other tenant's leaving now. She's going. What do I do? This is my income, and I've not had anything now for 4 months. I'm just, you know, it makes life a struggle. I cannot afford to do this.
Six minutes later.
Hello? Hello?
Chris?
Hello, who's that?
Is this Chris speaking?
Who is it, please?
Is this Chris speaking, yes or no?
I want to know who's ringing me, please. Who is it calling?
If you want to sort this situation out, I suggest you answer, is this Chris or not?
Well, it is Chris, but who's this?
Right, that was I, wasn't it? Right, Chris.
Right.
You got a court order to be at that premises, yes or no?
I can go round there because it served you as Section 8, which means you should have left. You should have left today. You should have left today.
Do you have a court order for an eviction?
No, you listen. You've not been in touch with. Today is the first day. What?
Listen, if you're at our property in 10 minutes' time without a court eviction, the police will be there. You have threatened.
No, we haven't. I haven't threatened her. Excuse me.
She's fearing for her life at the moment. The police are being called now. I strongly suggest you make yourself scarce.
And I'll strongly suggest you stop lying. Oh, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
With bad blood on both sides, Chris is still no closer to getting back his house or his missing money.
It's all wrong, all of it. All of it.
Evictions in Britain are on the rise. On average, 169 take place every single day, up more than 50% since the start of the decade.
It's leaving a very bitter taste in my mouth, really. Couldn't even be bothered to turn up, and no contact, no sorry, no nothing.
After 9 months with inconsistent rent for her Surrey house, landlord Marilyn Hunter and her son Bradley have won a possession order. She's owed over £7,000 in rent.
Dear tenants, to advise that this morning I have been granted by the court a possession order for my house to be returned to me. This will be confirmed by a letter from the court to you shortly. Yours faithfully.
As her tenants, a woman called Jackie and her adult daughter failed to show up at court.
It's okay then.
Marilyn decides to deliver the news by hand.
I feel very betrayed by the tenants. What makes them think they've got the right to live in my house and not pay for it? It's absolutely outrageous. I've still got mortgage to pay on it. I want to know why they think they have the right to do that.
Are you going to say anything?
That's a good question, isn't it? I'm very angry and very hurt. They came out with silly stories like the money had gone out of her bank accounts and it was in cyberspace. She was at a funeral. Oh, there was just so many. And I remember sobbing about it, frankly. I'm not Superwoman. I'm just ordinary.
Is she in? Oh, she's actually in. Do you want to come?
Is she in?
Yeah, she's in.
It's Marilyn. Oh, sorry, can't hear. Can you pull the door to a bit? It's too noisy. Right. Yeah, it's to do with the court case. You didn't attend the court thing today, and it takes ages for them to type it up. So I've got a notification which I'm going to put in the letterbox. So you've got to vacate within 14 days. Why is it that you think you can live in my house? You owe me $7,300 and you put me under enormous stress, Jackie. I've been off work with depression and stress. I was having incredible hardship financially, emotionally. I think they even knew that I was putting my back operation off. There was not one jot of consideration for me at all. Why have you done this to me?
Marilyn's tenant claims she's fallen on hard times, but does promise to pay the rent arrears and move out.
Please make sure you're gone. And fast, thank you. There's absolutely no point in having slanging matches with people. It's stooping to their level. It's nothing to be achieved by it. But I have to say, when I turned around, I thought, oh, I enjoyed that. giving her a bit of my mind. We will see what happens, but...
I don't think she'll leave.
No.
I don't think she'll leave.
Oh, I'm livid. I'm livid.
The windows was all broken at the back, all been boarded up. It was a complete mess.
When inspecting a supposedly empty property, letting agent John Bartram discovered squatters who were using the former hotel as a drugs den.
There was all old food everywhere, there was human feces, there was a couple of broken toilets. Luckily, they agreed to move with immediate effect.
Today, John is checking to see whether the squatters have returned.
So we'll try and have a look to see if we can see anything here. It's broken up again. So I presume there are people in there again. Nightmare. I think a lot of these people are desperate. And yeah, Blackpool's a victim of its own past, where people still think it is paved with gold, it is not paved with gold, and they are stuck. There's nothing there. Can't see nothing, there's nothing there. Yeah, somebody's been here since last time I was here. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What the hell's this? It's not blood. Too much for it. It's all in the walls in here as well. What a shithole. I feel sorry for the owner.
John worries the squatters may return again.
If the issue isn't resolved imminently, of course these people on the streets talk. Oh, go and get your head down here, go and get your head down there. It'll be common knowledge that the property was empty, so as one lot moves on, there'll be another one take the place. I think you're talking $7.5 grand. While ever it is empty, they're going to break in and break in and break in and break in. This is the first time I've been in since work's done on it. Wow. I can't believe how this is tidied up. Literally, you couldn't see the floor for pigeon mess. There was let's have a look. Yeah, there was actual nest in the sink. It's nearly habitable, actually, apart from carpets.
With repairs almost complete, John will soon reopen the building as bedsits.
Hopefully in a week's time, it'll be back to its former glory when it was first made into flats, and we can possibly go forward and get him new tenants on a very quick scale.
Next.
There should be a wardrobe here.
In Derby.
I'm not letting them, I'm not allowing them to get away with it.
Hello, sir.
In Harrow.
The landlord should have been honest about it. He's in trouble.
When are you going to get out?
And in Surrey.
That is so shocking. If she doesn't answer, I'll just put the letter in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll see if we can get her to talk to us.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the next thing's the bailiffs.
After her tenant fell on hard times financially, widowed landlady Marilyn Hunter was left £7,000 down. Along with her son Bradley, she won a possession order for their former family home. It expires today, so the tenants, Jackie and her daughter, should have left.
There is less stuff hanging up. I'm wondering if they have moved out.
Marilyn lived here for more than 20 years. Now, she wants her own daughter to move in.
My daughter, delighted to say, is expecting her first baby, and we've decided to come back and have it as a family home again. Pull it all the way back. Bang on the door with a knocker. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, they haven't moved out. Oh. Jackie, we need to talk. Jackie, we need to talk, Jackie. I spoke to you 2 weeks ago. You've broken your promises again. When are you going to get out? When am I going to get my money? Come on, Jackie, you're making life so difficult for us. Jackie, if you won't talk, you're giving me no option but to push hard with bailiffs. At no stage did they ever inform us as to what the problem was. There wasn't any apology. These people were just taking advantage. Right, I'll put the letter in the door. You're making life so difficult. So difficult. Unnecessary. You're not the tenant. Hang on, you're not the tenant.
There seems to be someone at home.
Who are you? I've let to a mother and daughter. I don't know who this bloke is.
They're waving through, look at them.
So there's more people in there. Oh, well, that's it then. I just feel an idiot, so gullible. They said that they would get out and pay in full, and that's the attitude I get today. This is my house, my property, and they think they can live in there. More than mother and daughter. Who else is in there? They just chuck water out. Yeah. That is so shocking. This is getting nasty now, isn't it? And the dog. The lease says no pets. Great dog in there. Oh, dear. Well, that's it then.
Bad, isn't it?
Oh, my God. My conscience is clear, more than clear, isn't it?
Spiralling costs are forcing more and more large groups of adults to share accommodation. In England alone, there are believed to be 500,000 of these houses of multiple occupancy, known as HMOs. With concerns about poor standards, council housing enforcement officers have been granted greater powers to tackle landlords.
Not sure what to expect, never know what to expect, so we've got the police waiting there for us.
Today, Andrew Sedman and Joe Smith are conducting a raid on a home owned by a landlord called PREPAR3D.
Hoping we get our evidence together. I'm hoping no confrontation, I'm hoping we get in. It doesn't look good from outside.
Mr. Sakari's brother is a notorious bad landlord. In September 2018, he was fined a record £1.5 million for converting North London houses into overcrowded accommodation.
It's the start of an investigation into Sakari's brother, so...
Yes, see if the brother's keeping up the standards.
We'd had reports of a large amount of people entering the premises from neighbours, neighbouring properties, but the landlord would not give access.
Morning.
Do you have a copy of the warrant? Of course I have, yeah. There you go. Cheers.
And actually, the landlord claimed it was empty.
We believe there are people living at the property, despite the owner saying no, it's empty, but he refused to allow us to have a look around.
So, don't know what to expect. Could be bad.
The housing enforcement officers believe the property may have been rented out to a large group of tenants, which the landlord does not have a licence to do.
I'm just going to stick this on the door first, so that the warrant is served. Right, there's a light on in there, so if there's any queries about what's going on.
Oh, cool.
Great. Ah, hello, sir.
Hello. Oh, how you doing?
Good morning. We have a warrant of entry to your property.
Oh, okay. I'm not even the owner.
Right, that's fine.
That's
we know
fine.
who the owner is. You're going to let us in, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great.
No. There's someone in there and there's someone in there.
Okay, you all related or are you friends?
I'm renting the room.
It's fine, nothing to worry about.
We're from Town Council Environmental Health. We're just executing a warrant of entry because we have been unable to get into the property.
Not only is the property occupied, it seems that at least 5 unrelated people live here.
Yeah, well, okay, there's definitely people living in this room. There's belongings here.
Meaning it's classed as a large HMO and must be licensed.
Don't like this room much.
Some landlords either don't know that they need a licence or they don't care that they need a licence. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot in Harrow that they don't care.
Well, what the heck is this? This electric wire here going through the wall. Some of the electrics in here are pretty scary. This is totally unacceptable. That means there is no earth. Very dangerous.
Property was just a mess.
Seen some quite artistic works here of pipe work. Exposed pipe work to the radiators just on the floor.
They were just bare copper pipes. Stand on those, you burn your feet.
Were you aware that this property was unlicensed as an HMO?
No, I wasn't aware that it was unlicensed, but I did believe that he was definitely be breaking some rules with the condition of it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
As well as renting out rooms without a licence, it seems the landlord has placed unfair conditions on his tenants.
You'd say you don't receive housing benefit at the moment, but he said that
No,
you
but
could
I am entitled to some.
Yeah.
But it says on my tenancy agreement if I'm to take benefits out to this address that
you won't be
contract
living here.
terminated. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the tenancy agreement to hand at all?
I'll have a look through it.
It's against the law to do that sort of thing. Delightful. Mind if I take a copy of this?
The officer's inspection is delayed, as one of the upstairs bedrooms is locked.
The landlord should have given us access, should have been honest about it. He hasn't. So, he's in trouble. Ah, we're in. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Oh, hums a bit in here, doesn't it?
A bit warm.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's disgusting.
A large extension is being built at the back of this supposedly empty property.
He just wants to pack people in here, it's pretty obvious. Just maximise the potential of making money.
Probably a kitchen extension with another room, possibly 3 other bedrooms, maybe, depending on how it's divided up.
Okay, well, there we have it. Unlicensed HMO. He's going to have to be made an example of.
After 5 months with no rent, landlord Chris Ball has been left almost £3,000 down and is struggling financially.
My wife has really been upset about it. She just can't, she can't think why anybody would do this. And it's just difficult. It's a real strain.
When Chris last visited the property, the tenants were still living there, despite claiming otherwise. They said they'd leave by today, so along with eviction expert Paul Champlina...
Morning, Chris.
Morning, Paul.
Chris is checking the house is empty.
After all these calls, how are you? Pleasure to meet you.
I'm very well, thank you.
So, you've got the keys, haven't you?
Yes, I have now, yeah.
Let's go in. Let's have a look. Make sure that he's moved all this stuff out. Okay?
Yeah, I'm dreading it, to be honest.
Okay. So the good news is he's obviously gone.
I felt relieved he'd gone. I felt angry that I'd been used and abused.
What room's in here? What is that?
Oh, it's just like he literally just dumped a builder's bag. All this has been taken off as well. Oh. He claimed that he'd left the house in good order and he's got photographic evidence to prove it, which is utter nonsense. There should be a wardrobe here.
Really?
Really. There's a wardrobe in here and there's a fitted wardrobe in there. There should be a wardrobe there.
Okay, so we go and check the garden. Oh, this is your cabinet.
Yeah,
this is your.
Yeah, they broke it all up and dumped it. I mean, I think all names went through my mind.
Most landlords, they bite off the rent, you know, but, you know, it's up to you.
No, I don't want it like that. I want to pursue them. It's cost me so much money.
Yeah.
It's caused us so much heartache. I've had sleepless nights. My wife's had sleepless nights. We're sick of it. All in all, you're talking about £4, £5, nearly £6,000. We want the money back. You know, I'm not letting them. I'm not allowing them to get away with it.
Right. Okay.
I've worked bloody hard for this place.
Yeah.
I want that money back.
Chris is really tenacious. He wants his money, but most of the time landlords can't collect because they see they're throwing good money after bad. There's no assets. It's not right. I know from experience, 80% of landlords will never ever get their rent back.
4 months on, Chris hasn't recovered any of the missing rent or legal fees. Next.
Hello? Hi, mate. Hi.
Oh, is there somebody there?
In Surrey.
Problem is, we've got a standoff.
And in Harrow.
You shouldn't have really taken new people before the license given.
I'm so sorry.
My approach normally would be to negotiate a way forward, but if they want to play silly buggers, then okay.
2 months ago, Harrow Council found 5 people living in an unlicensed house they were told was empty.
We're there to look after tenants' health and safety. Therefore, if it means putting the landlords in their place, I will happily do that.
Today, Enforcement Officer Ozzy Albayrak is returning to meet the landlord, Mr. Sakari, face to face.
Hello, you are Mr. Sakari? I am Miss Albayrak.
Are you...
I'm the officer that on the phone, I spoke to you on the phone.
Okay, no problem.
So, shall we call this bedroom 1?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The brother of this landlord has been fined £1.5 million, and he's the most notorious dodgy landlord that we know and dealt with in Harrow. I didn't know what I was walking into.
This landlord already faces a fine of £5,000 as a result of the council's last raid.
You did this, very good. This is very important. Yes, very good, very good.
He'll now only be granted a licence if Ozzy is convinced he's made significant improvements to the property.
Yeah. How many people are in the property at the moment? Altogether 5. You've already rented it? Okay. So you took new people. You shouldn't have really taken new people before the license given.
I'm so sorry, I didn't hear
Okay, because obviously you don't know how many people we're gonna give you. So hopefully it won't be a problem. That's the thing.
It will be a problem.
It won't. Hopefully it won't be. I will see.
We're not obviously looking to put anyone on the street, but we always come across landlords who put people in before we grant them the license.
When did they move in?
I believe I moved yesterday.
Okay. And all these smoke alarms and everything was in place?
Yeah, that was from before,
okay.
Not now.
Let me go and have a look. Ow.
Mr. Sakari does have planning permission for the extension.
So you extend in the next room as well?
No, only here.
But unless Ozzy grants a licence, he won't be able to rent any of his property out to multiple tenants.
have 5 people, that's okay. I'm not going to ask you to evict them. However, you might see a condition on your license saying either reduce the numbers or expand the kitchen, which you will do. We know that some landlords will push their luck once the license has been granted because they think we don't keep an eye on them, but we do.
Okay. Thank you. Take care, yeah?
Marilyn Hunter won a court order against her tenants, who owe her more than £7,000 in rent. They were ordered to leave 2 weeks ago, but stayed put.
Marilyn, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
You must be Charlotte.
It
Nice
is.
to meet you. You okay?
Along with her pregnant daughter Charlotte, and eviction expert Paul Champlina.
So it's this house here, isn't it, over here? Yeah. This one over here, yeah.
Marilyn is returning to see if they finally left.
What's that? What's that beeping? Is that your alarm?
Yes, it sounds like it.
It looks a bit empty in there. Can we
We'll go round the back.
Let's
I'll
look round the
let you
back.
go.
Let's run the back, and then we'll let ourselves in.
Right, okay. Charlotte?
What car's there?
The one on the left.
So they left the car here.
Yes.
Let's open. Oh, there we go.
With no sign of the tenants, a woman called Jackie and her daughter, Paul believes the house has been abandoned.
Let's have a look in here. Hello? Hello? It's empty. Stinks.
Jesus.
It stinks.
Everything stinks.
Okay.
Stench was dreadful. A mixture of dog, rubbish. Oh, look at the lights.
Oh, my God.
And everything was just dirty, like an old pub that had years of nicotine on it. It just looked so grubby and disgusting. And look at the state of the summer house and the bed. Oh my God! There's dog turd everywhere.
Some Gucci shoes.
Ah!
They're real.
Oh, money to buy Gucci shoes, but not enough to pay me any rent whatsoever for the last 5 months. That's nice.
A separate garden annex forms part of Marilyn's property.
Hello? Hi, mate. Hi.
Oh, is there somebody there?
Still here?
Oh.
Hi, mate. Do you want to chat? Oh, hold on. You're leaving now. Who's here with you? Just you and your dog? You've got a big dog? Well, so we've got a Rottweiler there.
Who is he?
OK, we're back off. We're going to back off.
Who is he?
Don't know. So we're going down the bottom of the garden so you can leave. The last thing I wanted was an altercation, because if this guy was a squatter, I can't force him to leave. We have a possession order, and what we have to do is we have to apply for a bailiff eviction date, and this could be really catastrophic for Marilyn, more so for her heavily pregnant daughter, who was desperate to move into the property.
You never know what's going to happen here.
Hi, mate. You want to talk to me or not? He's not talking. He's keeping stum. The problem is we've got a standoff.
Unable to reclaim the house until the mystery man leaves the annex, Paul puts in a call to the tenant.
Hi, is that Jackie? Can I confirm you vacated the property now? It's all empty. No. Hold on. Jackie. So your son's in the outbuilding, correct? It was a relief to find out that the guy in the outbuilding was a relative and not some random squatter. We're going to go and leave the property now, and please make sure he leaves, OK? He shouldn't be here. Thank you. Bye-bye. They're gone. Is he gone? All right.
It's taken nearly a year and cost her over £8,000, but Marilyn finally has her home back.
God. Oh, Mum. Bless you.
Oh, you got it back. Got it back. Oh, okay. Oh, we'll make it look good again.
Slog. I don't cry often, but I remember sobbing about it, frankly.
Oh, he's left the keys here.
Oh, look at that thing. Oh.
Stinks of weed in here. It absolutely stinks, doesn't it, of weed?
Disgusting. Oh, yeah, really strong. Will I let again? Never. You're very special. You're my first grandson. Oh, we do make funny faces, don't we? It is with great pleasure I'm able to report that it's becoming a family home again. Sorry. It's becoming a family home again. The family home that I created for my family. 22 years later, my daughter has now creating it for hers. It's got its heart back. It's got its heart back. We got it back. We got it back.
Next time.
Use sharps in the pot. Heroin.
A man confronts his drug-dealing neighbours.
I don't want my son to be seeing sort of people around here.
Yeah? You get
A landlord is left devastated by the damage to her property.
You're supposed to be out, Tony. Yesterday.
And a woman is forced to evict her former friend.
This is not happening. She's just taking the piss.
So anything she does is magnified. How's it really been in your health, though?
It's been terrible. My nerves are shredded.
Right, so don't get upset. I will get them out, don't worry, I promise you.
Please, Paul, because she's making my life a misery.
We've never
had anybody like her before.
No, this is the downside of being a landlord.
I know.
Especially being a landlord and you live in the same building. So leave the talking to me, right? So I'll speak to her now, see if I can engage with her.
I doubt she loves it, but she never does.
Katie has called the police about the elderly couple several times, accusing them of harassment, but each time they found no evidence to support her claims.
I just wanted to sell up and go.
She had enough being a
I've had
landlady.
enough. I said, I don't want this anymore. I said, I've never come across anybody like her in my life. I just want a peaceful life. We'll sell up. We'll go.
Hi, Katie. Are you all right? Yeah, can you open the door? I've got a letter for you. You're not opening the door? Okay, well, I'm here on behalf of the landlords, and we're serving some notices for eviction relating to non-payment of rent. Hi. So, this is the notice for the rent arrears and for the eviction notice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to have a chat about the rent arrears? She doesn't want to be filmed here, but she's happy to meet me on the park bench around the corner. Let's go walk down the road. What I'm trying to do is try and negotiate. We have two options, which she said, which is one, we can do a deal and pay her to leave. She would accept £1,000, or she can string it out of court. This tenant was not going to go quietly. I believe that she was trying to extract as much money as possible from an elderly couple. So, Jacqueline, would you do a deal if I can get £1,000 and she gives us vacant possession?
We will do it.
You'd bite my hand off, wouldn't you?
I would. It goes against the grain because she owes us rent, but You know, to get rid of her, Paul, I would do anything because my nerves are
No, you don't need
shattered.
that. The problem is I'm quite cynical and I don't want us to be played.
I just wanted her out of my life. I didn't care, you know, just give her the bloody money. I just want, sorry, but that's how I felt. I was so angry. I just wanted her to go.
The couple are facing a dilemma. They are desperate to get their tenant out quickly. But if they do hand over the £1,000, there's a risk she reneges on the deal, leaving them even worse off.
My worry is that if we pay £1,000 to her and she decides not to leave, then we're back to square one and then we're in for a long court case of 4 or 5 months.
With the decline of Britain's seaside resorts, some have become a magnet for vulnerable and cash-strapped tenants. Letting agent John Bartram manages 400 properties on behalf of landlords in and around Blackpool.
I'm out on the road most of the day, and if I'm out there, I know what's happening. What we see as an agent is the darker side of life, whether it's Blackpool, whether it's other cities, towns, seaside towns. A lot of the people get caught into the traps of drug and alcohol issues.
Today, John is heading to a block of 11 flats where one tenant is causing problems.
From day one of him moving in, we've had issues. Drug dealing, people using it as a drugs den. Even his social workers would not visit the property. Last time I laid the law down to him, one of his friends came and gave me a mouthful.
Although it's unclear who exactly is dealing drugs in the bedsit, there has been a series of complaints against the tenant, who has a history of drug addiction.
Oh, I feel sympathy for them, yes, but I'm not having them causing antisocial behaviour for other residents in the street, in the block, in the vicinity. And that's one of the reasons we're taking the notice today to terminate his tenancy. Are you okay?
John spots Ibrahim, another tenant who lives directly above the problem bedsit.
So how's things been last night?
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. Same people say come into the flat and making noise. Someone's trying to get through the window yesterday.
Did you report it to the police?
Yeah, I ring them up this morning.
Oh, well, that's good, because the more evidence we can get, it's making...
It's better.
We will get to the bottom of it for you all.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, cheers.
This landlord was on the verge of bankruptcy. We actually lost 5 tenants out of the 11 because of the issues that we was getting in the flat. Landlord, JJ Properties, could you open the door, please?
I'm over here.
Eh?
Over here.
Paul, because of all the antisocial behaviour that's going around in this premises, there is a Section 8 notice. Cannot put up with this issue any longer. We have now took landlord's instructions to give you this notice to vacate the property. You are responsible for your tenancy. I was here the other day visiting someone else, and I got threatened by somebody who was wanting to come into here.
I was in hospital then.
But it's people that's revolving around here. If they're threatening me as an agent, they're going to be threatening other residents. So who's the dog, by the way?
What?
Who's the dog?
My friend.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be here. I suggest you contact your social workers. Are they coming back to see you now?
Yeah, they're coming tomorrow.
Because they actually refused to come in because they was told to F off because there was somebody who was doing a drug deal in here.
No, it wasn't.
You know, I'm afraid it is fine. Okay, thank you. There is a problem with drugs in Blackpool, but this should not affect the normal lives of
Spent so many nights wondering where you've been. Now I know I'll never waste my time again. You're too busy breaking hearts to understand. Let me feel that devil day, devil day. Won't believe you lost again, mommy.
On the real, I got a shout out to my ex-girl. Yeah, there's something gotta get off of my chest, girl. Did me dirty, but I swear that you the best, girl. Cause every time I rap about you, that's a check, girl. Should've known you were busy creeping every time I wasn't home. Accusing me of cheating, always blowing on my phone. The one who points the finger is the same one doing wrong. Mommy.
Say goodbye to the memories. I gave you everything, I gave the best of me. But girl, you only cared about my history. Too paranoid, you love, that's what you did to me. I can't say I was perfect, but girl, I tried to work it out. But your lies ain't worth it, so it's goodbye, it's goodbye.
Y yo sé que tú me quieres, pero no me importa. Y yo sé que estás con otro y estoy con otra. Dime si tú me recuerdas cuando él te toca. Y no me mientes, yo ya sé que yo te tiene loca. Confess, girl, you messed up, what a shame. Said that you was with friends out of state. Don't lie, you was with him at his place. Cause your friends said they ain't seen you for days.
Let me feel that devil day, devil day. Won't believe you lost again, Let me feel that devil day, devil day. Won't believe you lost again, mommy.
On the real, I got a shout out to my ex-girl. Yeah, there's something gotta get off of my chest, girl. Did me dirty, but I swear that you the best, girl. Cause every time I rap about you, that's a check, girl. Should've known you were busy creeping every time I wasn't home. Accusing me of cheating, always blowing on my phone. The one who points the finger is the same one doing wrong. Mommy.
Say goodbye to the memories. I gave you everything, I gave the best of me. But girl, you only cared about my history. Too paranoid, you love, that's what you did to me. I can't say I was perfect, but girl, I tried to work it out. But your lies ain't worth it, so it's goodbye, it's goodbye.
Y yo sé que tú me quieres, pero no me importa. Y yo sé que estás con otro y estoy con otra. Dime si tú me recuerdas cuando él te toca. Y no me mientes, yo ya sé que yo te tiene loca. Confess, girl, you messed up, what a shame. Said that you was with friends out of state. Don't lie, you was with him at his place. Cause your friends said they ain't seen you for days.
Let me feel that devil day, devil day. Won't believe you lost again, Let me feel that devil day, devil day. Won't believe you lost again, mommy.
Mama, tell me, am I wrong? Maybe I'm right. Should I listen to your voice? 'Cause I am lost tonight. Should I go on with your wisdom? Or should I just keep moving on? Oh.
geceler sensiz bir başka. Sözlerime tek mevzu sendin. Kimse şiir olamaz kafamda senden başka. Kış gelince baharda anlarsın. Yalnızlık üşütür aslında. En çok o zaman durur ver yansın. Çünkü kimse ısıtamaz ayağımızda senden başka.
Fucked and drank all night, acted all alright, had no need to fight tonight. Fucked and drank all night, acted all alright, had no need to fight tonight. Cast me far away.
我也有个原来有。